Right, here we go. 511. More concerning this we can speak about, except the hours forcing to leave. Vos is you. You invitos means unwilling, so the hours forcing unwilling you to leave from here. But in the following day tomorrow, here's a question. Vultisne, do you want, plural, which pleriqui, most all people, contoleranting, they're spending in abaco, that's like an abacus of board games, etc. Do you want, in sober stories, from Promaluke, from sunup until dinner time, and this dinner itself also not obruptem, not overwhelmed, lavishly overwhelmed with cups and plates of food, but with learned questions, another female accusative, modest, so we'll spend it modest, and mutual exchanges, exiguous, we're spending our time in readings that are written, literally. Okay, so straight off we'll have a daily dictionary. The latrunculus is usually a bandit, but here we see ludimus latrunculus means a pawn in a game of draughts or chess. So the abacus is the board, latrunculus are like millites, they're pawns. So 12.4, thus should we decide the ferias, the holidays, to be birthing some very suitable, convenient things for us. Pre usually means because of or in front of, so it's like beyond all our normal business obligations or whatever. As they say, remittings, loosing not our minds, for to remit, says Musonius, is as if you are losing your mind. So to remit your mind, loosening your mind is the same as losing it. But democking, soothing it a little, and relaxing with some honest jokes of conversations in lactationibus. Quod C. But if thus you decide, these elections, these are allurements, if you decide that you will do this gratissimum, you'll do it very gratefully in this conveniendum, in this meeting here, you'll be doing something grateful to my household gods. The gods penates. Penate comes from the interior, so the household gods. 13. Then Symmachus says, nullus, literally no one, I'm guessing, who indeed remembers or thinks himself worthy in this meeting, will repudiate this solidarity, this friendship meetings here, or I don't know what the regim's to do with it, royal or great sort of meeting, so no one will repudiate this association of friends gathering or this meeting itself. But nay quid, lest someone is desiring should be needed to perfect this gathering, let us invite to this congress and party and food, I think should be invited Flavianus, who, as much as something dative, who's more praestantio, he's more outstanding or greater than his father Venestus, a man worthy of admiration, not less by his ornateness of his mores and the gravitate of his life, how copious it is and deeply profunded. He asserts his erudition or his education. Simulqui and simultaneous, let's invite Posthumanius, who nobilitates, he makes noble the forum with his worthiness of defense, I guess he's a defense attorney or maybe a lawyer, and another guy, Eustachius, who is such in all types of philosophy that solely or alone he can represent to us the three ingenia, the three types of philosophers concerning which our ancient times boasted about, gloriated. 14. Dico. I say these who, the Athenians, quondam, once upon a time, legaveranted, they chose them as legates to go to the Senate in Petratum. They've gone there with a supine purpose, a purpose to obtain that they could remit the multam, which is a punishment of their city, which had been propped up on account of the devastation of this place, Oropius. This punishment had been almost 500 talents of silver, which is, according to the Loeb, 13,000 kilograms of silver was their punishment. 15. These philosophers were Carneades from the Academy, Diogenes, a Stoic, Critolus, a peripatetic philosopher, who they say, Siosima probably means apart or aside, for the sake of ostentation, each of these people went through the very crowded place of the city, through the crowded places, that's plural, where there was a great convento, a great gathering of men, and they discerned a visit. They spoke their minds about philosophy, I'm guessing. 16. It was, as it's related, Carneades, with his facundia or elegance, was violent and rapid. Critiolus was learned and worn, or smooth, and Diogenes was modest and sober. Said into the Senate, introducti, they were introduced into it, they brought in, they used an ablative, an interpreter, a senator, Coelius. But this guy, our guy, he was mentioned earlier, all sects he followed, or of these schools, but more probabiliorem secutus sit. Okay, so he was probably better at one type than the others. All of these genera of speaking alone by himself, he could fill out all these schools amongst the Greeks. But into us, in the Roman world, nevertheless, ita ut correlatives, he was a very rich interpreter of his own things, and you wouldn't know in which tongue he was more easy already going in ornatius when he filled up his work of speaking. So he was so good at Greek and Roman, basically, is what they're saying. This Noster, who was he? Eurystium, the last guy they mentioned. 17. All proboverate, all approved of this judgment of Q. Aurelius, in which they had chosen their soda as a companions, whatever that means, some sort of learned thing or amount. And before all these things constituted or decided thus first, so they decided all these things first, then, 10 days then, same time from Praetextus, they were all disputing, they all left from him, and each one regressi sauntered to their domum, back to their house.